This is Grocery Talks with food distribution guys Richard Baker, where we provide food manufacturers with a greater understanding of Canada's grocery sector. And now, here's our host, Richard Baker.
Today, I'm pleased to be joined on the line by my dear friend, Dana McCauley, Chief Experience Officer for the Canadian Food Innovation Network. A pleasure to have you, Dana, and thank you for your time.
Oh, it's so great to reconnect with you. It's been a long time.
Can you just provide us with a brief overview of the Canadian Food Innovation Network and what your mandate is?
Yeah, so CFIN, as we like to call it, is a new organization. We were incorporated as a not-for-profit in the spring of 2021. And we exist to help grow the food sector in ways that will make us more globally competitive. So we're really interested in that transformative innovation, not necessarily putting out a new flavor of something that you already make, but something that's going to be great for you and have follow on to, help others in the food sector to do things in new ways.
So, as we all can greatly appreciate, plant-based food is the new wave in the Canadian grocery sector. How do you see this sector evolving?
Well, it's interesting. I think we're already seeing the categories sort of self-sort. You see some folks who are emerging as brand leaders, and that maybe the space is not quite as big as some people thought. I think a couple of years ago, a lot of the disruptors in plant-based thought that people would adopt a plant-based diet, wholly and completely. But what we've actually seen is that people want variety, and that meat eaters are very much the folks who are adding variety to their diets with a lot of these alternates. I've written a chapter for a scholarly book that's coming out very soon, where I take a deep dive into that whole topic and about the positionings that are working. And it's definitely not vegetarians. They're generally kind of grossed out by things that taste and look like meat. It's definitely more the omnivores and people who have sustainability concerns and health concerns that these types of products can address.
Exactly. What do you feel is the next evolution past plant-based foods, and how can Canada play a leading role in that?
Well, it's pretty exciting, actually. We've been involved with Ontario Genomics. CFIN and Ontario Genomics did a call for folks who wanted to build capacity within the cellular agriculture, synthetic biology space. And for those who are like, what, cell syn? Basically, that's taking a cell from any kind of organism, doesn't have to be an animal, and growing it in a lab, in a bioreactor, so that you have something that's bioidentical to what would be produced in nature, whether it's steak or vanilla. And Ontario Genomics did a really great paper, and they identified, just for Ontario alone, the opportunity is $12.5 billion of economic impact if we can become one of the leaders in this space of food and genomics. So anyhow, we'll be announcing very soon that we're giving away $700,000 to match the funds of industry who want to work in this space. And we think that the runway ahead for Ontario and Canada generally is it's time to put down the gravel, so that when we're ready to land planes, it'll be nice and solid, and we'll be the folks that everyone in the world turns to.
And technology, we all know, is also going to play another key role in Canada's grocery sector. There's talks of like retail stores like Amazon Go. Do you foresee Canadians accepting these types of stores?
Yeah, we just did a webinar called New Pathways to the Pantry recently with some folks who are working not in the Amazon Go, identical space, but folks in Canada who are working on meal kits and reinventing sort of the cafe / convenience store. And there's definitely interest. Of course, Amazon Go is is novel, and certainly there's a lot of people who think it's exciting to try it once. And I think the real opportunity will be in meshing that extreme high-tech experience with more traditional models, so that the changes are maybe a little bit more gradual and a little bit less obvious, and that people will kind of move along and by the time we get to, the Amazon Go type of concept being ubiquitous, it will have happened without us even kind of noticing it.
I've heard also that China, I think it's China, or as China convenience stores have started the same concept.
Yeah, makes sense, and it's exciting and it's interesting, and of course it depends on connectivity. So I think it goes hand in hand that as Canada builds out our internet infrastructure, across this big and vast country, that kind of thing will be more possible, to do on a chain by chain basis as opposed to a location by location basis.
What other technology advancements do you see coming in the near future for the Canadian grocery sector?
There's so much interesting stuff happening, definitely when you get to supply chain, agility within the supply chain, safety along the supply chain, as far as cybersecurity, as well as human health type safety. There's a lot of really interesting things happen. Personalized nutrition is very exciting, from things I barely understand, like, biopeptide functional foods, to DNA driven diet plans, to things that are, just make a lot more sense to a layperson like me, like, addressing the huge opportunity of the silver economy. So not the aged and not the infirm, but those active and often fairly wealthy, 60 plus kind of crowd whose lifestyle has changed and whose health needs have changed. Massive opportunity, and there's a lot of people innovating against that segment, which is nice, because we always look to the next generation that's coming up. It was millennials, now it's Gen Z, and we forget about the opportunities in the folks who are already, if we're an established brand, already our customers.
Exactly. I do know it's occurring throughout the world. Do you foresee the day that Canadian packaging will have to feature the product's carbon footprint?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's not that far off. Already see a few people flirting with it. Eliminating plastic from the food supply chain is top of mind for government and for people. And going back to Gen Z, I think that this is the group, as they mature and start to establish households and families. Sustainability is definitely something that's baked into their thinking. They grew up with recycling at home, and they're acutely aware of the planetary, global crisis with climate. So I think that if we're going to have people who actually follow through, that they are willing to pay more for sustainability, it'll be that generation who actually does it and acts on that impulse.
Yeah, it was a very what's the word I'd like to use here? Enlightening. I'll call it enlightening. What this Sobeys challenge they put out for the packaging of their meats now, in terms of, let's find someone that can eliminate the plastic, eliminate the telephone tray, and eliminate the moisture pad. And is there a way that we can do that now more economically without all that either? Most of the time, usually the plastic's probably going to landfill.
Yeah, no, I think it's that they're spot on. And I can tell you that for our Food Innovation Challenge call we did, so those are, projects where we give people between $500 and $1 million to, match their investment in something that's going to have a really big impact. Out of the 35 plus letters of intent we got, and we whittled that down to 7 applications, there was a lot of focus on exactly what you just said, and maybe not specifically to do with meat, but working around antimicrobial stuff that can be done, that's clean label, rose to the top, as well as creating packaging out of other types of very common and plentiful items like algae, mushrooms. The innovation in this space is super exciting.
Well, I was actually just a little topic to that. I was working with a firm from, I'm not too sure where it was. It was for a line of organic chocolates, but why I really liked it was the fact that their packaging was made out of plant seeds. And so the fact is, you then actually planted some of the packaging, it would then turn into a plant.
Yeah. I've seen that even in greeting cards too, which I think is such a nice thing, because greeting cards always feel like such a waste. They're wonderful to get, someone's thought of you, but you're like, oh, that $5 could have gone to the food bank, or what am I going to do with this card? But then when you can plant it, and have something come up out of the ground, I think it's fantastic.
Exactly. So what is the best way for anyone to make contact with the Canadian Food Innovation Network there, Dana?
Yeah, well, we are open 24/7. We're a virtual online organization. So becoming a CFIN member is free, and it's open to anybody who's a food professional in Canada. And we're going to be, offering a lot of great supports. We have regional innovation directors who are people who work across Canada. They live and work in their geographic focus area: Ontario, Quebec, BC, the Prairies, and Atlantic. And they're always there to answer questions and help network people to collaborators. So becoming a member by visiting, cfin-rcia.ca is the perfect way. And of course, we're on all the socials and easily searched on your favorite search engine.
Right. Thank you again to Dana McCauley for being our guest today. And if you're a food manufacturer seeking distribution in Canada's grocery sector, please visit our website, www.fooddistributionguy.com. Thank you again for your time, Dana. Great pleasure.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.